Hi there, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Tina from Tinaheals.com. So hop over to my website to check out my merchandise and all the services and readings that I offer. So this video is about the North Node in Gemini and the South Node in Sagittarius. Tropical Western astrology, of course. If you look at the sidereal system, they are about a sign behind. So, for the sake of clarity, this is Western tropical astrology, although the archetypes really do not differ. In the Vedic astrology, they are known as Rahu, which is the North Node, KETU, which is the South Node, okay? And it is visualized as a dragon. So the North Node is the head of the dragon, whereas the South Node is the tail of the dragon. So the dragon is severed. So the head is forever seeking, forever hungry. For no matter whatever it consumes, it has no place to keep it because the tail is separate. So the North Node is forever hungry. And the North Node is of the nature of Mars, and the South Node is of the nature of Saturn. The South Node is the principle of subtraction, and the North Node is the principle of addition. So the South Node can be quite malefic because it closes chapters. It takes away from things you may hold dear, because the South Node is our past lives. It's where we've already been. It's an energy we already understand. And we've lived that and done that, been there, done that, got the t-shirt a million times in very many reincarnations. But the North Node is where we aspire to go. The nodes are always exactly opposite one another. Okay, so the South Node is what we need to release, what we need to purge, what we need to let go. Okay, and sometimes this letting go process is difficult. That's why the South Node is of the nature of Saturn, letting go. Ultimately, it is for the best, And now when we look at Gemini is mutable air, ruled by Mercury. So it is the natural third house, which deals with communication, siblings, local neighborhoods. Okay, and Sagittarius is mutable, fire, ruled by Jupiter. It's also interesting how Mercury and Jupiter signs are always in opposition. Okay, because Virgo is also Mercury and Pisces is Jupiter. So that also creates this opposition. Mercury's information gathering, Jupiter's gnosis. Okay, so now we had this very same nodal placement in 2001 to 2003. So presumably you're already around 19 years ago. Please go back in your mind, in your in your mind palace, and try to ascertain the things that were going around for you, that was happening for you. What was happening in your life? What was the vibe like? Was it a vibe of huge transformation? Then this you can feel once again. You get the nodes in these particular signs after every 19 years. So for some of you, this is your nodal return. For some of you, this is your nodal opposition. For some of you, this is your nodal square. Okay, so on and so forth. So here we are dealing with the modality mutable, but the elements that we are dealing with are fire and air. Rahu, which is the nature of Mars, is in air, and Ketu, which is the nature of Saturn, is in fire. So a bit more of air, which is communication, a bit, a little less of fire, which is creativity and, individuality maybe. So now 2001 to 2003 was a huge transformation for most of us, because the 2000s started with this energy, and we actually experienced the bombing of the World Trade Towers in America, and all the ISIS and all the Saddam's the Osama bin Laden and all these things. And terrorism started with this nodal shift. So again, with Ketu in Sagittarius, we are obviously seeing less of traveling, but that's also Saturn in Aquarius adding to that. Saturn restriction, Aquarius, large groups of people. Okay, so whatever it is, you understand one thing simplistically: Rahu is going towards, and Ketu is letting go, because you've done this for many lifetimes. So it is time to let go, it is time to relinquish, to release, to purge, and then will come the integration, believe me. Because once you release your south node and move towards your north node, the north node will teach you what you need to know, and you will grow exponentially. And then once you've grown with your north node, you will realize that the truth you've been seeking, the alchemy you've been seeking, lies in the south node itself. So it's a very beautiful journey of self-discovery, and it is definitely a step towards individuation. Okay, now if you work with your north node karma, then you get a huge jump in society, because you learn, you integrate, you grow, and you can really become the rags to riches is actually a very Rahu thing. But in Vedic astrology, they are both considered malefic. Okay, now if you master your north node by house, by sign, if you understand your north node, then ultimately there is nothing but mastery to which you move towards. Because Mars here, Rahu is the nature of Mars. Mars is pushing you towards mastery, pushing you towards mastery. Okay, success is inevitable. You cannot escape it. It is inevitable, the success that you will have with your north node, understanding your north node. So the south node is, or Ketu, is about detachment. It's about renunciation. It is about realizing that there are some things you can't control and letting go. Okay, and that becomes difficult, really, letting go. So now we are moving towards all things Gemini, and we are moving away from all things Sagittarius. So let us understand a few key words of Gemini. Communication, for sure, social media, business, blogging. And blogs are going to be in, because Rahu and the Gemini, microblogging is going to be in, if you can't of course write thousands of words. Sales is mercurial, Gemini, and Mercury has so many significations in all the systems. In traditional Hellenistic system, Mercury, Vatius, Valence gives so much of significations for Mercury. It's never ending. So it's like advertising, marketing, office work, money, also cryptocurrency, because it's not real gold or silver anymore. It's zeros and ones on your computer. Advertising, I said that. So remember that Rahu, because he's like Mars, he's an innovator. He innovates. Okay, he's into he's a pioneer. So he pushes you towards discovery, pioneering something, moving towards something. Okay, this is the Mars energy he uses. So you're good. So Rahu in the Gemini, in the sign of Gemini, is going to push us towards pioneering something with regards to the Gemini significations, like writing, communicating, siblings, neighborhoods. So we redefine these concepts for all of humanity. That's really what Rahu wants. But remember that Rahu oftentimes works subversively in a very taboo manner, and Rahu also deals with taboo manners, taboo subjects. So it's very subversive, the energy, the way it sort of can operate outside legalities. It's a very subversive energy. It's a very radical energy, Rahu. It's not easy. Now, when you think of the dragon, I told you, think of the dragon's head. It's severed, right? It's um, decapitated. So forever it is hungry. It's hungry, hungry, hungry. It's insatiable. Okay? Like there's no satisfaction. I can get no satisfaction. That's literally Rahu. He's like unable to get any satisfaction, and he just moves towards more, like Mars. Mars can be very unsatisfied too. Okay, so we are all moving towards all things Gemini related. We are going to be hungry for those things, information, content online, written content. I to do microblogging, Facebook posts, Instagram posts, Snapchat, LinkedIn, all of this. It's going to be a buzz with activity, and we've seen that because people are confined and restricted. So there's this huge use of social media that's finally coming into play. Saturn in Aquarius, it's going to happen, right? So we are innovating new things with regards to media, social media, how we make posts, how we make YouTube posts. New channels are being created on YouTube, or new blogs are being created. So information, information, information. We are hungry, hungry, hungry for information. Okay, for the next 19 months, as Rahu and Ketu travel to as Rahu travels through Gemini. Okay, we're gonna be hungry for information, and we can innovate new ways of marketing on social media. I think this is going to be very, very important. Remember that Rahu is a very provocative energy. Gemini is communication. So writers, bloggers, vloggers can get very provocative. There can be more provocateurs, with this energy. Very possible. Rahu is not like time and tested Saturn. Rahu is new. So Rahu always wants new methodology, methodology, okay? So he wants all these new methods, basically, okay? And he's, as I said, he's ready to step out of the legal paradigm, okay, and move into the darkness. And Gemini's local communities, small businesses. So I see this thriving, online businesses thriving. And I say this again, blogging. No matter what you do, blogging is going to be the new thing that will get your business, your idea out there to people, okay? I see internet businesses booming now with coronavirus and this whole Saturn in Aquarius, boom, 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 okay? And I also see with Rahu and Gemini, local neighborhoods changing. So more community oriented, more, growing your food, and more of that is possible. Now, remember that we had, of course, Vesta was conjunct Rahu for the first few days in June, and that was a very powerful energy. The Vesta is the inner flame. The Vestal Virgins had the inner flame. So Rahu ignited that, ignited that. Now, the keywords for the Gemini deals with basic data. The keywords of Gemini is I know. Sagittarius deals with higher education, higher truths. The keywords of Sagittarius is I believe. So there is more of knowing, less of believing. Rahu pushes us towards knowing. We need to know. The keywords of Gemini, I know. Okay, less of believing. Because that's where Ketu is in Sagittarius. Less of believing. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Right? Now, if you look at Gemini, this is the immediate environment that is being impacted by Rahu. If you look at Sagittarius, it's the whole wide world. So less of global communities right now, more emphasis on local communities and making the transition to smart communities, smart neighborhoods. I think that's going to be very important. Okay. Now, when we think of Gemini, let us think of it as a tree. Okay, data. But when we think of Sagittarius, let us think of all the trees multiplying, and then we zoom out and we see the whole forest. Okay, so that is Sagittarius, the whole forest. Okay, now when we look at the rulers of Gemini and Sag, Gemini is ruled by Mercury. Mercury is Prometheus. What did Prometheus do? Prometheus basically stole the holy fire and gave it to the humans, for which Zeus or Jupiter punished him, right? He got punished, right? And basically Zeus made Pandora, and Pandora opened the box, and here we are. So there's going to be this dichotomy at play with the head and tail of dragon passing through these two signs. Now let us understand Ketu in Sagittarius, or the South Node in Sagittarius a bit better. As I said, let it go. Use your breath to let it go. If you know there's something you need to let go, but you can't, let it go, let it go, let it go. Okay, so as I said, with Ketu here, the Sagittarius experience is going to be shortened, is going to be, deleted, it's going to be revamped, rewritten. So what is that? Religion, universities, higher education, teaching big picture concepts, okay, like the Atman, for instance, is going to be not in demand, but knowing little vocational things will be more in demand. Okay, so a DIY or all of that will be more in demand, but say knowing the Atman is going to be less in demand. Okay, now libraries, we won't be going to libraries because most of them are closed. Foreign people, we don't get to interact with many foreigners because foreign travel is closed. It also deals with foreign long distance travel, closed, very expensive. That will also change. Elon Musk was trying to get us into the Hyperloop. I don't know how that's playing out, but how we travel is gonna change forever. Okay, with Ketu and Sagittarius, the whole airline industry is going to be revamped for sure. And the most interesting part, okay, of course, import, export, and global businesses, large businesses are not going to do well. Small scale businesses are going to do well. Mark my words. The thing I am most interested about is that our belief systems are changing. So our monomaniacal belief systems of utter narcissism are going to change. They will be demolished by Ketu, who is the nature of Saturn. Okay, ultimately for the greater good. Don't forget that. Sagittarius, Jupiter ruled. It is how we connect to God. The pontiff, Sagittarius, Jupiter is the pontiff, So how we relate to God, the way we connect to God, the way we connect to Guru, the way we connect to spiritual godmen are going to change. Catholicism comes to mind. Now you're not going to be able to see big vision, the big picture. You just can't see that. Religious gatherings and ceremonies are going to be also curtailed. We can already see that with the coronavirus, the complete restructuring of our inner truths, and I think that is so precious. Okay, another thing is Sagittarius is very lucky because it's ruled by Jupiter, but Ketu in Sagittarius and Jupiter in detriment on Capricorn takes the luck out of the whole equation right now. We all feel luckless, like we don't have any luck right now. Now, interestingly, this transmutation will happen when people realize that religion is meant to serve people. You have all this money with the Vatican, you have all this money in Mecca, you have all this money in the temples, but what practical good does it do? Nothing. Okay, it's there for regalia and for pomp and glory. So that is going to be completely revamped. Our connection to God and God men. Okay, and the connection to luck, the factor of luck in our life. Okay, it's completely going to change. Empty prayers will not do it with Ketu in Sagittarius. Empty prayers, just for the sake of praying, no, it's not going to do it, cut it for us. So basically, we have Jupiter, who is in detriment, I told you, so it's going to be complicated. Now the most interesting thing about this equation is the south node is what we've done, we need to let go. North node is what we need to embrace. When we embrace our north node, we realize that it leads us straight back to our south node. Okay, what do I mean by that? My north node is in Virgo, 29 degrees. My south node is in Pisces, 29 degrees. I need to let go of Pisces, imagination, escapism. Need to be more Virgo and practical, focus oriented, result oriented, optimization, completions. And then once I do that, I see that my whole energy leads me back to spirit, to 29 degrees of Pisces, where I also have my lot of fortune, where I also have where the fixed star sheet is also present. So this is interesting. The south node, you let go, you move towards the north node, then ultimately you master the north node, then you see it leads right back to the south node. So Jupiter, who will be in the south node, will have the answers. Okay, so it is Jupiter's wisdom that we need to tune into to understand how the nodes are going to play out, and the true remedy, the true elixir is with Jupiter. Okay, it is his wisdom that will liberate all of humanity. Okay, with this transit of Ketu through Jupiter ruled Sagittarius, and Rahu through Mercury ruled Gemini. So how will this play out for you? More tarot readings and psychic channelings coming up. But drop me a message, like, comment, subscribe, share, and book a reading, and check out my merchandise. Thank you.